Going to talk about, are we heading towards the World War III? Maybe tomorrow the Russian president will go to which country? North Korea. The North Korea, the country. You know, the West and the North Korea has a very, very tense relations and the treacherous relations. এটা আপনার ওই লাইভ লয়, এটা ভিন্ন ফেসবুকে লয়, বুঝছেন? এটা এমনি মানে কেউ তেমন কেউ দেখবে না। So yeah, listening a song close to me. We are doing our duty together, two people, and Mr. Putin, who is going to the North Korea tomorrow. It is like a big things in international politics, as America is mostly have a very tense relations, very bad, very conflicting relations with you know North Korea, especially the Kim Jong Un, and they also have a very bad relations with South Korea. South Korea, North Korea. A few days ago, they were exchanging some balloons with full of dust and the animals dust and a lot of bad things actually. You know, used toilet tissue in the sand. So there was, and I know some after that. The South Korea was playing some anti-North Korean propaganda with loudspeaker, and that made the North Korea very angry. They were doing so, and North Korea is a country. If you do something against that country, then anyhow they will reply. Sometimes in a funny way, or sometimes sending the balloons with a lot of dust, a lot of the toilet tissue used and animal dust, animals things, like it's really bad, really bad. And so Mr. Putin said that they will help North Korea, they will support North Korea against the treacherous West, because Russia recently has a very tense relations with West and Euro, and some European country over Ukraine conflict. As Russia, at war with Ukraine, and the war is going on for a long time, more than 2 years, yeah, almost, and the 2 year is going on, but the war is not ending. So what is the problem here is, yeah, a few days ago there was a peace plan from her from Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, but Russia will not agree. So Russia was not even part of that peace plan or peace conference. So you can say that is like will not work or will not fruitful, as Russia was not a part of that peace conference. Even India and some of the big countries said that, China said that, if where the Russia is not part of a peace plan, peace proposal, that was just vain and null and void. That has no meaning. So what I think is, the visiting to Ukraine is a very big blow in international politics, and that is what the Russian president, the strong man, is doing. After maybe the last time he has visited North Korea is about 2000, the year of 2000, like maybe 24 years later he's going again. When the Kim Sang Il, his father was the president that time. Maybe he met with him, and now he made a very big press note about why he's going to North Korea. They said that it's a partner of Russia, and you know there is a sign that when enemies, you have an enemy and I have the same enemy, but you were not my friend. But if we both have the same enemy, then we are becoming friends so easily. That's what happened to North Korea and Russia, because they have mutual enemy. So that's why they are like the Iran and China also. They are together now. They are also planning a big thing. Like even the NATO's president Stoltenberg said that Russia and China relationship is a dangerous thing for the world, like even for NATO as well, because they can you know challenge NATO anytime, because they have also the power. They have the power means what they have is NATO and China and Russia. Russia has a lot of nuclear weapons, a lot of like strategic and even ICBM and a lot. So what is the problem here? When the Russia and China will be together, that time they can challenge. They can um, you know like continue the world order, like the America or they are doing. So my thinking is, if yeah, they have some problems, so the mutual enemies they have now, because America also has a kind of a relationship with China, because China is a very big country and their economy is so strong, like, so that's why they can't ignore the relationship sometimes with America. But what is happening here is Russia and China, they found some mutual ground, and North Korea, Iran, Syria, and some other country. And Russia has friends in Baltic nations, and also the Belarus, the Alexander Lukashenko, and some Baltic nation, India, Armenia, or Luxembourg or something, some other country. So yeah, some like the French president and the UK's prime minister also, they are talking about like very much belligerent, or very much things like they want a war against Russia, and they are unwavering support to Ukraine. The support is really sometimes go beyond their limitations, beyond the the cross line the Russia set for, you know because the French president said they can use their weapons to anywhere they need to do. They said that to Ukraine, and French president also tried to send some maybe trainer or something, from NATO country to Ukraine to help them. So that's kind of things are very dangerous. And America is always, knows everything from the behind. And I don't know what is their plan now, because sometimes they are changing their plan, and sometimes they're not, doing the things they need to. Even you can see what they're doing is in Israel. They're just pushing Israel for the ceasefire, but that's what we are watching. But at the same time, behind the back means secretly, not secretly, is also quite open, that they are giving the weapons, a lot of weapons, a lot of things, like especially the weapons and the aid and the fund they need, and supporting that. Few days ago there are a few people, 30, 50, 40, 50 people killed on a year strike with a bomb that's made in USA, that is given by USA. So you can say that what the USA is doing here. And yeah, but their power on the wall is diminishing every time. Like after the Afghanistan war, the US troops pulled out from that country, the last scenarios, and their power as a global power. They're you know the country as a global power is a global, the what it called, the leader of the global, you know the global leader is decreasing day by day, even in China and India and some other country. You could say Russia taking their place. Russia is also not in a good situation, as they are at a war with Ukraine for kind of long time. They're also, and also they need some munition and things like that from North Korea. North Korea is giving them some kind of munition and things like that. So this visit is very important for the international politics. Everyone will, give an eye on that situation, that what is happening. Tomorrow, the Russian president will go, and that's a good thing. Like for Russia, I think they will get some military might, military munition, and they need weapons too because they are in a war for a long time with Ukraine. They are also losing a lot of troops and things like that. So they also need it, and international politics is really bad things. Uh, in some other NATO country, like maybe which country, Serbia or some other country, are opposing the NATO's position and EU position sometimes, and collaboration with Russia, and Turkey is also kind of not always listening what the NATO said or other countries said. They have also good relation with Russia sometimes. So I think over the Ukraine, there's a big chance. There is still a big chance that a big war, the war will erupt in Europe, and that will go beyond our imagination, as Russia is a nuclear armed country, and they have plenty of nuclear weapons than any other country. America is closed, but still they are ahead. The number of weapons they have, and another thing is, uh, America is. I don't know how far they will go after the war. The war erupted. War will continue. If they are thinking to use the nuclear arms, they don't need to think about that. Maybe Russia will use first, because someone said that. Even the Russian president also sometimes said that Russia is outnumbered with all the NATO countries and American allies. So they have to resort on the nuclear weapons, because that's otherwise the Russia's existence will be threatened, and that's one of the charm, that if their very existence is threatened, they can use the nuclear weapon in their constitution. So I think they are going to use nuclear weapons, and as much as they have, as many nuclear weapons they have, they can, like, destroy the whole world. I heard sometimes, but it's also depend on the air defense system and things like that, when that will be detonated, with the air or something, or they will use the strategic nuclear weapon. So the world is in very bad situation, like, now over the global conflict, the Gaza and Israel, the Lebanon also sometimes, going into that conflict, and Russia and Ukraine, the war is Russia and Ukraine conflict is quite, heavy, and it's just mostly killing the military members than the civilians. But Israel is killing a lot of civilians in Gaza. That is very, very bad. And what I think is, okay, I'm sitting in front of a river, the shore of a river that is, and you can see a ship, a very big ship is going through the river, and it's going in Chittagong, I think, if I'm not wrong. By the way, here I'm sitting. So my opinion is there is a big chance of the global war, and maybe a lot of country will join. It's we have to say. Many people are really worried about, confused about China, that what they will do. Sometimes, they are very much like, you don't understand their policies. Like, they're very much sticker. They're using a lot of. They are very suspicious. Like, what they will do, you don't know before they are, doing it. So, also, the China and the Taiwan, that's a big things. Like, they are always thinking Taiwan is a part of the country, and but the Taiwan is feeling a independent country, and they have a very good relationship with America, and America is also supporting Taiwan all the time. Some other official people are visiting Taiwan, and that made the China angry. And sometimes China said that, okay, we are going to invade, and I think that's like the Ukraine and Russia's the war is going on, and one day that war will also continue. Like, China, how long it will continue depending on the support they will get and how America will react mostly. But if Russia and other country with China, then I think China will win easily, because China has a lot of allies as well. So I know, but it's quite sure that sooner or later it will happen, because their constitutions as a country, and Taiwan is always thinking as a different country. That's the conflict. And one day, the China is thinking, maybe, like, I think in terms of Xi Jinping's, the presidency, the Prime Minister of China, my Prime Minister, President Xi Jinping, I think he will invade Taiwan. He's the person, and he's thinking when to attack or when to do that. Maybe, if I'm not wrong, that's my prediction that, while the Russian Ukraine war is going on, maybe in that time, okay. Oh, someone called me. Maybe, within few months, or before the conflict ends, the China can attack Taiwan, as the war is going on in Ukraine. When it will make America some kind of situation to be in both, like, tailoring situation, like which way they will go, to whom they will support most, Ukraine or Taiwan, because that time the both need some help. Taiwan, without the American help, Taiwan also can't stay longer. Because the China's military is so big. Their navy is bigger than any other country, and their military personnel is so big as well. They can invade, and they can easily can control the country, I think, until America its positions, how they will take their position. So there is a lot of problems, and some other country, like some other, even China's neighboring country, they will also oppose that, because they have problem with China, some South China Sea, some other islands, and India is also, which side the India will take. That is also a question, because India has problem with the Himalayas border with China for a long time. So I wish there will not be any war, a global conflict, World War II, like that, because the war is always bad. Like, Russia and Ukraine are at war now, but they lose a lot of military and a lot of money, a lot of people. So we have to be wise, and we always looking for the peace rather than war. So I think the global power, especially now America and other countries, European and some other country, should take the steps very carefully, wisely, not to do anything wrong, not to go beyond the limitation, not to go where the conflict is just for sure it will happen undoubtedly. So be wise. I'll tell part of the group, like maybe the big country, and like the G7, they were in a conference few days ago. So I will tell them like to be very careful about what they're doing, you know, because we don't want as a you know South Asian country, Bangladesh. We have a lot of problems, the financial problem, the price hike, the lowest salary, and the unemployment rate is so high. So in that situation, we don't want any war, because when the Russia and Ukraine war have erupted, have started, that time our prime minister always was saying that, okay, because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the price hike and the oil price and other prices increasing. Many of their cabinet members also saying the same thing, and every time like they were saying the same thing. So we don't want any war. So I wish and pray that war will not happen and the peace will have its own way to get into the leaders' minds, and people will be very peaceful about that. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. বৃষ্টি আসছে রে, বৃষ্টি আসছে।